When a Sony TV blinks its red standby light, instead of turning on, the number of blinks it produces is a coded diagnostic message that Sony engineers programmed into every model. Counting those blinks takes 10 seconds and immediately tells you which internal component is reporting a fault. Here is what every pattern means and what to do for each one. Number 6. Count the blinks. Everything in this video starts here. Before you try any fix, count the exact number of times the red light blinks before it pauses and then repeats. Watch at least 2 full cycles to confirm the count is consistent across both. Different blink counts mean completely different problems, and applying the wrong fix wastes time and changes nothing. The blink pattern is a self-diagnostic code that Sony's engineers designed to report from inside the TV without needing any external diagnostic tools or equipment. Once you have the count confirmed and written down, you know immediately whether you are dealing with an overheating issue, a power supply problem, a backlight fault, or a mainboard failure. 6 blinks is one of the most common patterns and indicates a backlight or power supply fault. 7 blinks almost always points to overheating, which the TV detects through its built-in internal temperature sensors. 8 blinks typically signals a mainboard communication issue. Continuous rapid blinking without a clear structured pause pattern usually means the power circuit cannot deliver stable voltage to start the TV's systems. Knowing your exact blink count is not optional. It determines every step that follows in this video. Number 5. Fix the 7 blink overheating pattern. If your Sony TV blinks 7 times and repeats that cycle, it has detected an internal temperature exceeding safe operating limits and shut itself down to prevent component damage. This is a protective function. The TV is working correctly by powering down when it overheats. Start by checking the ventilation space surrounding the TV. Sony recommends a minimum of 4 inches of clear space on all sides, top, bottom, left, and right. If the TV is sitting inside a closed cabinet, mounted tight against a wall, or placed in a corner with restricted airflow, trapped heat cannot escape and the TV shuts down every time the internal temperature climbs too high. Also inspect the ventilation slots on the TV's back panel. Years of dust accumulation inside these vents reduces airflow dramatically and raises internal temperatures even in TVs positioned in open spaces. Use a can of compressed air to clear dust from the slots with short directed bursts, holding the can a few inches away. Do not use a household vacuum directly on the vents. After improving the ventilation setup and clearing any blocked vents, allow the TV to cool completely, at least 30 minutes at room temperature, before attempting to power it on again. If 7 blinks do not return after the TV cools and has proper clearance, overheating was the confirmed cause. Number 4. The power cycle for all blink patterns. Regardless of your specific blink count, a complete power cycle is the correct first hardware action for every Sony TV blinking red light situation. This step clears temporary electrical faults, resets the power management circuit, and gives the TV a clean startup attempt from zero. Unplug the TV's power cord from the wall outlet entirely. Locate the physical power button on the TV body and press and hold it for 30 full seconds while the TV remains unplugged and disconnected from power. This discharges the internal capacitors and forces a complete hardware reset. Release the button and wait 2 full minutes before reconnecting the power cord to the wall. Plug directly into a wall outlet, not a power strip, surge protector, or extension cord. Press the power button and observe whether the blink count changes, the TV turns on normally, or the same pattern repeats unchanged. The change in the blink count after this step confirms the power cycle partially addressed the fault. The same count returning immediately tells you the fault is persistent and requires the targeted steps that match your specific blink number. Count your blinks and drop the exact number in the comments. We will tell you exactly what your Sony is trying to say and the right fix for your count. Number 3. Fix the 6 blink backlight. 6 blinks on a Sony TV typically indicates a fault in the power supply circuit, the backlight system, or the voltage regulation between those components. This is a hardware-level fault, but there are steps to take before concluding professional service is unavoidable. First, disconnect every device connected to the TV. All HDMI cables, every USB device, optical cables, and the antenna connection. External devices create additional power draw that can prevent the TV from completing its startup routine. Attempt to power the TV on with only the power cord connected and nothing else. If the TV still shows 6 blinks with 0 external devices connected, try plugging it into a completely different wall outlet on a separate circuit in the home. A circuit carrying a heavy electrical load from other appliances can deliver insufficient or fluctuating voltage that produces the exact 6 blink pattern even when the power supply board itself is fully functional. If 6 blinks persist on a different outlet with nothing else connected, the power supply board inside the TV has a genuine component fault. This is a component that a qualified Sony service technician can diagnose and in many cases replace at a cost significantly lower than buying a new TV. Number 2. Software recovery. For blink patterns that appeared after a failed firmware update, a power interruption that occurred during a previous update, or after the TV froze and was manually powered off, a USB firmware recovery can restore the TV to normal working operation without requiring any hardware service. Visit Sony's official support website on a phone or computer and search for your specific TV model number. The model number is printed on a label stuck to the back of the TV. Download the firmware recovery file for your exact model. Copy it to a USB drive that has been formatted to FAT32. With the TV fully powered off, plug the USB drive into the TV's USB port. Press and hold the power button on the TV body while plugging the power cord into the wall outlet. Some Sony models enter a recovery mode this way and will automatically detect and begin installing the firmware file from the USB drive. Check Sony's support page for your specific model to confirm the exact button sequence required, as it varies between different TV generations and model lines. Number 1. Contact Certified Service Center. When the blink count points to a hardware component failure, 6 blinks for power supply, 8 blinks for mainboard, or any pattern that remains completely unchanged after a full power cycle, device disconnection, and USB recovery attempts, the internal component identified by that blink code has failed physically and requires professional replacement. Contact Sony support directly through Sony's official website to check warranty status and open a service case. Sony's limited manufacturer warranty covers component failures, and if your TV falls within the warranty period, the repair is covered. When you contact support, lead with the blink count you documented. It gives Sony's team an immediate understanding of the specific fault. For out-of-warranty Sony TVs, locate a Sony-authorized service center and bring the documented blink count to the appointment. That recorded count gives the technician a precise starting point, reduces the time spent on initial diagnosis, and can lower the overall service cost. In many cases, a targeted component replacement on an out-of-warranty Sony TV is a worthwhile repair that extends the TV's life significantly.